Hi, I'm Harold Bell, and this is the Legends of Inside Sports and the Way We Were. My special guest is referred to as the mayor of basketball in Philadelphia. His influence goes beyond the basketball court. He is known for his role as a 76er executive, radio host, broadcaster, counselor, you name it. And he's a mentor to thousands of young men. He has been a mentor to thousands of young men. He's known for his ability to reach kids through the game of basketball and make them better people. He co-founded the Charles Baker Memorial Summer League in 1960. The Baker League will become the top off-season showcase of professional basketball talent. It is the oldest and most prestigious professional summer league in the country. He developed and founded a community summer league in his name as an amateur adjunct for college, high school, and pre-high school players in 1968. The league presents an alternative to the challenges of the street and provides participants with discipline, guidance, and direction. He offers students tutoring and career counseling programs in addition to basketball. It has been said the league has done more to battle gangs and drugs and promote life skills than any other program in the city. He has been honored with over 25 community awards, including numerous Man of the Year awards. He was the NBA commentator for CBS Sports from 1974 to 1978. He was named one of the 100 most influential minorities in sports by Sports Illustrated magazine in 2004. He received the Manny Jackson Basketball Humanitarian Spirit Award presented by the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 2008. The award honors individuals who have incorporated basketball into their efforts to contribute to the greater good of society. He's been recently honored at halftime by the NBA 76ers for his contributions to the team and the community at large. There will be an annual Community Service Award presented in his name to the person in Philadelphia who exhibits the same character traits. Presently, he continues to host a weekly talk show on Sports Radio 610 WIPA AM. I would like to welcome to the Legends of Inside Sports a true legend, Mr. Sonny Hill. How are you doing, Sonny?
All right, man. I need to carry you around with me just so you can say all those magnificent things. Thank you so very much, Harold.
No, Sonny, it's true. You know, I always hear people say, well, this guy needs no introduction. Well, he needs no introduction. He hasn't done a damn thing. So I like to I like to give all my guests their just due. You know, Sonny, tell us about this honor that you just received from the 76ers, and what does it mean to you, Sonny?
Well, you went through a litany of recognitions and honors and things that I've received. I would say that this would be right at the top. Mm-hmm. It would be very difficult to top this and any of the other recognitions that I received simply because it really profiles who I am, what I've done, and why I've done it. It's always about the people before you who helped you to get to where you are. And then once you get to where you are, it's a philosophy of mine to reach back, try to touch other individuals, give them the opportunity. And then the other thing, using basketball as a particular sport to mold young people into better human beings, but letting them understand that you can't just rest on that alone. You need to future where you're going to go for the rest of your life, and particularly when you get older. And it does not matter whether you're in the NBA or you're just a guy that's playing pickup basketball. The thing is, it's called life after basketball, which is the most important of all of that. So I try to make sure that when I come in contact with individuals, I try to indicate that to them and let them know that it's not a one-shot situation, it's a collective situation.
Yeah. You know, Sonny, you and I have discussed over the years, and you said, Harold, your hometown is the last one to give you any recognition. Well, I can call you a liar because Philadelphia has reached out to you in such a great way, man. When they allow you to spend halftime of an NBA game being introduced for your contributions not only to the team but to the community. And you got two of your guys standing there, World Be Free and Allen Iverson. Man, that's saying a lot, Sonny.
Well, as I said, it is one of the highest recognitions that I have received simply because of what you just said. And along with that, the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, was also a part of the presentation, and he took it beyond Philadelphia. He took it from a worldwide point of view because my impact has been on a worldwide because of the people that I've touched, not only those that come from Philadelphia. I think we're going to talk a little bit about Roland Fatty Taylor from D.C. and other individuals that I've had an impact on their lives just by the example that I've been able to set. But that example was set before me with those individuals who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, because at that time when I was young, I was only thinking about being a baseball player, which is my primary sport. And then when I got involved in basketball, but the older people, they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And you know, there's a saying when you go down south, and it says, "That's my boy. I knew that boy's going to be something. That's my boy." That makes me proud that the older people can say that they touched me and they helped to shape me and move me in this direction.
Yeah. You know, Sonny, before we get to the basketball part of this, because we got about 30 minutes and we already used 7, I want to congratulate Philadelphia, man, the Eagles, man, who won today. Now they got a first round bye. I mean, with the losing their top quarterback, man. I mean, what Nick Knowles did today, threw for 4 touchdowns, man, and led Philadelphia to a win that was much needed over the New York Giants. And you know, congratulations on that, man, because I saw a football game today that I know they cheated. There's no doubt in my mind they cheated, man. That game that with the New England Patriots and Pittsburgh Steelers, that was stone. That was a theft, Sonny. You don't when the ball crosses the plane, it's a touchdown. If you do not have to have control of the ball when it crosses the goal line. How many times have you seen the football players go down and do flips in the end zone and lose the ball? How many times have you seen that? All you got to do is get that ball across that line right there that sits on the field. It's a touchdown, man. And for them not to see that, man, I say, man, that's that game was stolen from Pittsburgh, man. It was a well-played game. I enjoyed it up to that time, especially when they got the cameras. If they didn't have cameras and made that call, I would understand. But they had a camera, man. So once again, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now I want to talk about our friend. On December the 7th, Roland Fatty Taylor died at the age of 71 in Denver, Colorado. Sonny, you had an opportunity to touch Roland Fatty Taylor, who is a native Washingtonian, came off of Northeast Playground, Calamilla. Tell us about your experiences with Roland Fatty Taylor.
Well, let me just preface it by saying this. Roland Fatty Taylor used basketball as a vehicle to allow him to do the kinds of things that would be making a difference. And then he reached back, and in Denver in particular, he set up programs that would be interacting with young folk. And a lot of the things that he was able to do, he sort of copied from what it is that I was doing in Philadelphia. And he's not the only one. As you know, Harold, there are people throughout the different cities that have looked at what we've done in Philadelphia, both with the Professional Summer League, the Baker League, and also my Sonny Hill League, and they've sort of modeled their programs after that. But reaching back and touching people and making a difference, and in the case of Fatty Taylor, he's one of the more aggressive defensive players and a guy that would get after you in terms of playing basketball. Now, when I say that, that's a real moniker in terms of how he approached the game. When he came here from junior college, he only was 2 years at LaSalle. And at the time that he was at LaSalle University, they had one of the best college teams in the country. In fact, 1 year they were not allowed because they had a violation. They were 27-1. And they had a player by the name of Kenny Durrett, who was one of the premier players in college basketball at that time, along with Bernie Williams from D.C., Larry Cannon, and Fatty Taylor, and the other player was Stan Wodorczyk, and Coach Fran Dunphy, the Temple basketball coach, was on that LaSalle team. So that was a very, very talented team, and I had Fatty Taylor's son, Kobe Taylor, on the radio this morning with my radio show here in Philadelphia on 94 WIP. We call that In the Living Room on Sunday mornings from 8 to 10. And I was telling him a couple of stories. You've been around me in terms of basketball and life, Harold, and you know that when the people start talking about basketball and they inject me into the conversation, I was an exceptionally good basketball player. And one of the things that they used to do, they used to come over to a recreation center in Philadelphia, right on the campus of LaSalle University. And we older guys who were not playing pro basketball anymore in the Eastern League or the NBA, but we still were playing like they do in D.C. back in the day. Guys don't do that anymore. So we have them, they were coming in, and I said, here they come again. They look up for lessons, and we would beat them. But the thing about that is that they would take the lessons and take it back, and it made them better by doing that. So I illustrated one of the things with Fatty Taylor is he was a fabulous defensive player. So I said to him, I said, this is what I'm going to do, Fatty. On the right-hand side of the foul line, about 20 feet from the basket, and on the left-hand side, I'm going to put an X there. And when I come down the floor, I'm going to shoot on those spots. And he liked the fact that I had those skills because it helped him to become an even better ball player, and we became even better friends in terms of that. So when I think about him, I think about him being a tenacious defensive player and a guy that would get after you. If you want to rumble, we can do that too. So when I think about Fatty Taylor, I think about it in that context.
Yeah. Well, you know, Fatty made some really fantastic friends in the ABA. He played shortly in the NBA, but I'm talking about friends like Dr. J and, of course, the Iceman, George Gervin. They became lifetime friends. And, you know, I remember how thoughtful he was when I was doing my radio shows. He would call me from wherever they were playing and say, Harold, I'm gonna be with Dr. J tonight. What time you want him? I'm gonna be with George Gervin or George McGinnis. I mean, those guys, he made them available to Inside Sports. So I always was able to appreciate Fatty because of that, because I watched him grow up as a youngster, and it was just I was very proud because Fatty was supposed to go to Winston-Salem. I had gotten him down there with Big House Games. And because he had asked me when he graduated, hey, Harold, what is it like down Winston-Salem, and what kind of coach is Big House? And I told him, I said, Big Fatty, you kick your ass, you step out alive. So I called Big House, and Big House had his athletes as recruiters here on the East Coast. Those guys who went to Winston-Salem, we recruited for Big House. So Fatty, I recruited for Fatty. I recruited Fatty for Big House. And the next thing I know, Fatty had disappeared on me without a trace. Come to find out, he had gone out to Kansas to Dodge City Junior College, and turned out fine for him. So I'm very proud of the contributions that he made as an athlete, and you know, found his own way. You know, Fatty did it his way, and a lot of times his way, just like me, wasn't, you know, caused a lot of controversy, but he was his own man. So, yeah, when I think about Fatty Taylor, I think about
Well, let me ask you
a
this
guy.
question, and I'm a basketball historian.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Fatty went to Spingarn,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people are not aware of the great players that have come out of Spingarn. In fact, the greatest player ever out of D.C., Elgin Baylor from Spingarn, and then the number 22 following him was Dave Bing out of Spingarn. So when I look at the players that have played professional basketball in the D.C. area, primarily D.C. more so than Maryland, but the D.C. area, Fatty's longevity in professional basketball is in the upper echelon of the players that have played in D.C., grew up in D.C., and then went on to play professional basketball. A lot of people may not recognize that because his name may not always jump out there as an Elgin Baylor or a Dave Bing or Austin Carr or Adrian Dantley, Adrian Branch, some of those guys. But he had a long career and was able to really make life after basketball in Denver, where they just adored him and respected him a great deal.
Well, number one, Fatty graduated from Fairmont Heights High School. He went to Spingarn for a year, and he and Coach Roundtree, my coach and Dave Bing's coach, didn't see eye to eye. I also wore number 22 at Spingarn. So, yeah,
Okay.
it's a long list of great athletes that came out of Spingarn. In fact, the D.C. public high school system is the only public high school system in the country that has four Hall of Famers. And that's Tyus Armstrong, who has two, Willie Wood and Lynn Ford, and Spingarn with Dave Bing and Elgin Baylor. Four Hall of Famers in the D.C. public school system. Yeah, and that's one of the things I wanted to ask you, because I know you are a historian. Who are your greatest five to come out of Washington, D.C. when it comes to basketball, Sonny Hill?
Out of Washington, D.C.?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
First one would be Daddy Grace.
Okay.
Ow!
Okay, Daddy Grace. That's my man.
Now, I played against Daddy Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And when I told Mr. Earl Lloyd that I played against Daddy Grace, he said, "What? You played against the great Daddy Grace?"
Mm-hmm.
And when I told Elgin Baylor, I said, "Elgin, I played against Daddy Grace." He said, "You played against Daddy Grace?" But that's a name that very few people can identify with, but you would have to put his name in the conversation. He didn't play professional basketball, but he did play with teams that got paid. Because I came down there and I was playing with a team called the Harlem Comedy Kids, and we were on the road up and down the Eastern Seaboard. But he would be a name that I would inject into that conversation. And certainly from a more modern point of view than Elgin Baylor, you have Dave Bing, you have Adrian Dantley. Those three guys are Hall of Famers. And then you have Austin Carr, who had, I think Austin had at least 4 games. And when he was at Notre Dame, he scored over 50 points.
Yes.
So that would be 4 of the guys right there. And then I think that you could have conversation about whomever you want to drop in, but those would be 4 of the names that just jump out to me from that point of view.
Well, I would my 5, and it's a tough 5 down that you mentioned Daddy Grace, but my 5 would be Willie Jones, Dave Bing, Elgin Baylor, yeah, and Adrian Dantley. And of course, Austin Carr would be my 6th man with Daddy Grace on that team. Those are the greatest basketball players to ever come out of Washington D.C. And the man that stands alone as the greatest is Elgin Baylor. There's no doubt about it.
I tell you, when I brought the name up to Elgin and I are very close, as you know. You know that. And I went out to California when Elgin had his 80th birthday. They gave him, the Los Angeles Lakers gave him this wonderful big ring with these diamonds on it. And I went out just to be with Elgin, and went to his house afterwards, and we spent time together. Elgin is my favorite basketball player of all time. If I could be any basketball player that ever lived, I want to be number 22. And don't forget, I grew up in Philadelphia. And Wilt is not my hero. He's my contemporary. Guy Rogers raised me, and then all those other great players are players that I played against or I knew. But you raised a very good point in terms of Willie Jones.
No doubt.
Because you know that Will was a great basketball player and a great talker and a great dresser.
Yes.
But you've seen the interaction when I'm with Will. For those listening and want to kind of figure out what kind of game I had, Will Jones will let you know what kind of game I had. He played briefly in the Eastern League, which was a league that was second to the NBA. NBA back in the day had 8 teams, and the Eastern League had 8 teams. In Allentown, Wilkesboro, Williamsport, Hazleton, Sunbury, Scranton, places like that. Mm-hmm. And we played games on the weekend. So Will and I played against one another, and that's why I established the fact that when I walked in the room, Will said, that's the man right there.
Okay, Sonny, we got about 3 minutes left. I want to ask you, I read a quote somewhere. You was talking about a young man with the 76ers, Joel, how you pronounce his last?
Embiid.
Yeah, that he is has a chance to be the next young Wilt Chamberlain. Wow.
What I said was he has some of the characteristics within the framework of how the game is played today, that he could be somewhat of a player on that level. I've never used that before. In fact, the great Earl Monroe called me and said, Sonny, did you say that?
You're right.
And I don't throw that around easily, but if you have watched him, here's a young man that's only been in basketball for like 6 years. He didn't speak English when he came to America, and he speaks it fluently now. He's very intelligent besides the basketball, and if you've watched him play, he hasn't played 60 games in the NBA, and he's already one of the premier players in the league and one of the biggest gate attractions based on the coverage and the way that people gather to watch him and want to hear what he's saying and what he does. He's an exceptional player. If he can stay healthy, his problem is his health. If he can stay healthy, 2 years from today, he will be far greater than he is right now. He's averaging 23 points a game, playing no more than 29, 30 minutes a game.
All right. Well, Sonny, what you're saying is that NBA basketball is back in Philadelphia. You know,
we have another player by the name of Ben Simmons.
Right.
We have 2 iconic young players, and we have a player right from D.C., Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz.
Right.
Who is a great play because he's injured at the present time. He was a number 1 draft choice.
Yeah.
So, you know, D.C., as we close off, I say this to people all the time. You've been around me when you've heard me say it. D.C. has produced more basketball players in terms of the population than any other city in America. When you think about it, and you think about the small pop, because D.C. is very small. You can drive from one end of D.C. to the other on a good day in 15, 20 minutes. You'll be out of D.C.
That's right. Yeah, you can.
And we've done that on a number of occasions,
right? Right. Well, Sonny, as we head out of here, who is the big threat in the NBA this year? Of course, everybody's talking about Golden State and Warriors. Of course, they're right there in the mix, but who is the threat to them as you see it, Sonny?
I think Houston has a chance if they keep playing at the level they have right now. I think Boston is on the come, but they're not ready. You can never count out LeBron James. LeBron James is truly one of the greatest players of his era. Now, I don't agree when the people who talk basketball, who don't know history, and they already want to put him ahead of Wilt, they want to put him ahead of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, they want to put him ahead of Bill Russell, they want to put him ahead of Oscar Robertson, but they have not seen the great players. So they speak with not the knowledge that you may be able to, because you saw the great players, you know the great players. And certainly with me, I only know them. I've played against most of them, and I followed the game since 1946 when the NBA was formed, and Eddie Gottlieb was the founder and the architect of the NBA, who by the way also mentored me in terms of the game. So my history goes way back in terms of that. But of this era, LeBron James is as good as it gets. In fact, he reminds people, myself in particular, of a guy that played for the Baltimore Bullets, who's also from Akron, Ohio. You can use
Woo! Oh man, please. That's Gus Johnson. Honeycomb Johnson. They don't know about that, Sonny.
I know, but if you watch any old video of Gus running, that's LeBron James. They run the same way. They have the same body. The difference is LeBron is bigger because we've grown as a society bigger. But when Gus at 6'6", weighing 235,
wow,
with like a 32-inch waist,
yeah,
they could do it all. And when I told LeBron James about Gus when he first came in the league, he had no idea that Gus was from Akron, Ohio. As Nate Thurman is from Akron, Ohio, and Nate Thurman and Gus Johnson went to the same high school in Akron, Ohio.
wow. Oh, Sonny, you got a lot to tell us about our history. We don't know our history, and looking forward to having you back here again, man. This is a conversation that we could do.
Keep them informed.
All right, Sonny. Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye. Well, that's going to be it for the Legends of Inside Sports. I've been your host, Harold Bell, and we had a very special guest, Mr. Sonny Hill, a legendary basketball player out of Philadelphia. And I want you to remember that every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face is not your enemy. Until next time, you can color me gone.